How's it going, guys? My name's Nick Sturbis. I'm a lead barista here at Lima Coffee Roasters, and today I'm going to walk you through our pour-over recipe. To start, you're going to need to get your supplies together. We've got a gooseneck kettle. In our case, we're going to be using the Stag from Fellow. You want to use a gooseneck kettle just so that you can really make sure you're having as much control as possible over your flow of water and really make sure you're getting everything that you possibly can out of your coffee. You're also obviously going to need a brewer and filters for that brewer. In our case, we're going to be using the origami brewer. This is going to be the small size. You're also going to need a scale, something to brew your coffee into, and then obviously you're going to want your coffee as well. We're going to be using 18 grams of coffee in this recipe, and you kind of can just tweak the recipe depending on whatever coffee that you're using to fit the actual taste that you need from it. Today we're going to be using our Guji. This is a great Ethiopian coffee, and it's got these really amazing tropical fruit flavors, really nice florality to it as well, and it's just a really great easy drinking light roast coffee. So to start, the first thing that we need to do is obviously turn on our scale, and you're going to want to just wet your paper filter to get rid of any kind of paper flavor that may stay there. All right, you just need to dump our rinse water here. And now we're ready to brew. So as a reminder, we're going to be using 18 grams of coffee, and then we're going to be using 290 grams of water. Our water here is going to be at 201 degrees, just under boiling here in Fort Collins. And your very first step here, obviously, is going to be throwing your coffee in to the brewer. You're going to want to make sure that you level the brewer as well so that you're not pouring into any kind of peaks or valleys, because what that can do is give you an uneven extraction and you'll have channeled coffee. It's always good to make sure that your brewer is level as well. And now that our coffee is leveled out as well as our brewer, we can go ahead and tare our scale and get started with our bloom, which is going to be the first stage of the recipe. So I've got my 201 degree water here. I'm going to start my timer. And we're going to be doing a 50 gram bloom to start off. You want to make sure that you get all of the coffee as evenly saturated as possible. And then we're going to just give this a quick swirl here as well. We're going to be blooming for about 30 seconds here. So once the timer hits 30, I'm going to be doing a second bloom for another 50 grams. And that second bloom is really just going to help us make sure that the coffee is fully saturated and that we're getting all of the flavors that we possibly can out of here. And again, you just want to make sure that you're getting all of that coffee saturated. You can tell by seeing some of the coffee is going to be lighter or darker on your bed here. You want to make sure that you're hitting all of those dark spots and really saturating everything in the bed that you possibly can. So then after this second bloom continues for 30 seconds, once we hit a minute, we're just going to pour straight up to our final brew weight, which is going to be 290 grams. Now you don't want to go too fast here so that you overfill your brewer, but you also don't want to go super slow to where you stall your brew. I typically like to make these concentric circles and then eventually just stay in the middle to be sure that I'm focusing my flow of water straight down the middle of that cone. All right. Then once you hit 290 grams, we're at our final brew weight. You're just going to want to let it drain for a little bit. And once there's just enough headroom on the brewer, give it a quick swirl to just even out the bed and ensure that you get an even extraction. Now, depending on your coffee, we're going to be looking at different drain times. In the case of this lighter roasted coffee here, you're going to want a drain time of around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. And in the case of one of our more medium roasted coffees, you may want to get a little bit closer to 3 minutes. And once your coffee is done draining, you're going to want to take your brewer off of it. and go ahead and serve. Enjoy.